All right, week. What is this now? 7? Week 7? Man, this season is going by quick, as it always does. Week 7 now. Let's jump into the picks. Last week, after going 10-5, I now have a record of 66-26. I was 10-2 before the Sunday night game, but then I got the last 3 picks wrong, so what do you know? Anyways, let's move on. Thursday night football. Steelers, Bungles. I'm going to be honest. I'm still not a believer in the Steelers, and that says a lot considering what I'm wearing right now. But I've been hesitant on this team because I've seen this so many times before. However, this game screams trap game. Short week, divisional game, on the road, with the Bungles' third quarterback now. This screams trap game. On top of that, Mike Tomlin, the Steelers under Mike Tomlin have never won a road divisional game on Thursday Night Football. They've never done that before. So if the Steelers can go out there and win this game and prove to me that they are not the same team and they are not going to do the same stupid stuff they usually do and lose this kind of game, I might start to believe a little bit. But boy, oh boy, it's hard for me to pick the Steelers in this game because I know their history. But I'm going to pick the Steelers anyways. We'll see. I don't feel great about it, but I am going to go with the Steelers here in this one. I think that the pass rush is going to be able to get to Joe Flacco. At least I hope so. And we'll see how it goes. Moving on. We've got yet another London game between the Los Angeles Rams and the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, quick disclaimer. I am recording this Tuesday morning at 11 a.m. So I don't know about injuries. I don't have updates on that yet. So I'm just going with what I have. Last week the Rams, they played the Ravens. Puka Nacua goes down with an injury, and the offense didn't quite look the same after that. I mean, they only scored 17 points against one of the worst defenses in the league right now in the Baltimore Ravens. And the Jaguars, they put up a fight last week against Seattle, albeit only scoring 12 points. But if Cam Little hits any of his kicks, the Jaguars stand a chance in that game. And, originally on my pick'ems, I had the Rams, but I'm actually going to switch my pick to the Jaguars. I'm going to pick the Jaguars here in this game. I don't know why, but something is just calling me. For some reason, the Jaguars, they're used to playing in London. It's basically a home game for them. As for the Rams, they haven't inspired a lot of confidence in me these past couple weeks. Of course, losing to the 49ers on Thursday night, okay, I can let that slide. It's a divisional game. Weird things happen on a short week. I can let that slide. But then you go out and only score 17 points. Now, granted, Nacua was out for majority of that game, but I don't know. Something about the Rams right now just is not clicking for me. So I'm actually going to go with the Jaguars. And I'm going to go with the Jaguars because I think they can get the running game going. Next, moving on, we've got the New Orleans Saints versus the Chicago Bears. The Saints kept it close with the Patriots last week. Give them credit, man. Spencer Rattler, he doesn't look that bad. And I said this earlier in the year. If the Saints can find even one guy that might be the guy for them, and it's looking like it might be Spencer Rattler, they can definitely fight in some games. And maybe they have a bright future. Who knows? As for the Chicago Bears, They played on Monday night. They won on Monday night. They beat the Commanders on a walk-off field goal, getting revenge after what happened last year. I'm going to go with the Bears. I don't feel super great about it because, look, after a win like that, this is the kind of game the Bears lose. I mean, let's just be honest here. Let's just be honest with ourselves. This is the kind of game the Bears always lose. But they're on a 3-game winning streak. I'm going to give them credit. I'm going to pick them to win this game too. Moving on, we've got the Miami Dolphins versus the Cleveland Browns. Do I have to pick either team here? Boy. The Dolphins. Rough loss last week against the Chargers. Of course, after the game, you have Tua basically calling out the coaching staff and other players for being lazy and not showing up to meetings. Not a good look for that organization as a whole. And then as for Cleveland, you never really had a chance in that game. I mean, you made Dylan Gabriel throw the ball 59 times. He just got sacked on 6 of them. Oh, God, I don't want to pick either of these teams, but if I had to, oh, boy. I guess I'm going to go with the Dolphins. I don't feel great about it, but you don't feel great about it either. This is the same thing I said about the Titans and the Raiders game last week. I'm going to go with the Dolphins. I think their offense just is going to be able to score more points. I don't have much else to say other than that. I'm just going to leave it at that. Moving on, we've got the Patriots and the Titans. The Patriots, they get a win, and Mike Vrabel is returning to Tennessee. Now, it will not be against his replacement coach, as Brian Callahan got the axe on Monday. Which, look, that needed to happen for a while. It's better, if you ask me, I think it's better that you do it now, because now that you're doing it, Cam Ward can hopefully maybe learn a new system quicker, and he doesn't have to sit there, absorb the Brian Callahan system for the entire year, and then start right over next year. I think it's better that you got rid of it now, but that's just me. And listen, I said that I wouldn't pick the Titans as long as they have Brian Callahan as the head coach. He's no longer the head coach. It'll be Mike McCoy calling the plays. So, am I going to pick the Titans this week? No. No, I'm not. Simply because the Patriots are a better team. And Mike Vrabel, let's be honest, he is going to fire this team up because he wants to put 60 on the Titans. You know he wants to put 60 on the Titans. So yeah, I'm going to go with the Patriots. Moving on, we've got the Raiders and the Chiefs. I'm going to go with the Chiefs here in this one. I know the Raiders, they just got a win last week against the Titans. But look, the Titans, they lost to the Raiders, and then they fired their head coach as a result. So you pretty much know all you need to know about the Raiders. That they're so bad that if you lose to us, we're going to fire our head coach. So yeah, I am going to go with Kansas City, who has looked better these past few weeks. So give me Kansas City here in this one. Rashee Rice is coming back. They're getting healthier. Give me the Chiefs here in this one. Next, we have a game that I was really struggling, man. I was really, really struggling with picking. We've got the Philadelphia Eagles and the Minnesota Vikings. I'm still kind of 50-50 on this because I really could see this game going either way. The Eagles did not look good on Thursday night against the Giants. Let's make that very clear. Now, of course, Thursday night, short week, divisional game, on the road. You know, weird things happen all the time in the division. But to look that flat is not a good look, and it is definitely concerning, especially considering the offense has had problems all year long. As for the Vikings, they're coming off the bye week. This game is going to be at home. I really shouldn't be thinking about picking the Vikings here as much as I should be. I really shouldn't be. But the fact of the matter is that I am. I'm heavily considering picking the Vikings here, even if Carson Wentz is still the starter. But I am going to go with the Eagles. But I do think that if they lose this game, it might be time to be really, really concerned. Moving on, we've got the Carolina Panthers versus the New York Jokes. Panthers. They got another win. I said last week that I wouldn't be surprised if Carolina won that game, and they did. They won on a walk-off field goal. So good for them, man. Good for them. Bryce Young has looked so much better. He looked great last week, if you ask me. An interception that wasn't his fault. As for the Jets, where do I even begin? I don't even know where to start with this team. I guess I'll start with last week. The offense completely looked flat. Justin Fields had as many completions as he did sacks. The team overall, I had more passing yards than the Jets on Sunday. Me. I am a wimp. Look at this. I should not have more passing yards than a professional football team. But I'm getting sidetracked. Yeah, I'm picking the Panthers here in this one. But, I do think this is a winnable game for the Jets. I do. Moving on. We've got New York Giants versus the Denver Horsies. Look, the Giants, they looked great. Cam Scatterboo and Jackson Dart, they've really brought a new energy to that team. And it's great to see, man. It's great to see. It's great for the game of football. As for the Horsies, they played a football game. They definitely did. They won said football game. I don't know if you can necessarily be proud of it. Bo Nix hasn't really, looked like the rookie version of himself. But you're hoping, as a Broncos fan, you're obviously hoping that he can be better, get better throughout the season. I'm going to go with the Horsies here in this one, just because I think they're a better coached team. I think their defense is going to shred through the Giants' offensive line. And that's pretty much all I have to say about that. But I think that if Jackson Dart can continue to extend plays like he has and make the smart reads and check the ball down, I think the Giants do have a good chance to win this game. And I wouldn't be surprised if they pull off the upset. Next, we've got a pretty interesting game, if you ask me. We've got the Indianapolis Colts and the LA Chargers. Ooh. The Colts, look, not every game can be a blowout. You're not going to play the Raiders every week. So you play the Cardinals last week. They kept it close, but you still got the win. Jonathan Taylor continues to look like the best running back in the league. Thank you for carrying my fantasy team for 3 weeks now. I appreciate that. As for the Chargers, close win. You got a close win against the Dolphins. You won it there at the end with the field goal. If you're a Chargers fan, I don't know how you feel about this team right now. You looked great the first 3 weeks, then you lost 2, then you barely won another. You're 4-2. I think you're still on top of the division, if I'm not mistaken. So maybe you're feeling all right. But I am going to go with the Colts here in this one. They've just been the more consistent team. And as of right now, I think I trust their running game more. Simple as that. Moving on, we've got the Washington Commanders versus the Dallas Cowgirls. Washington. I don't know what happened. I'll be honest, I didn't watch the Monday night game. I fell asleep. I went to sleep. I was tired. So I didn't see exactly what happened. I just know that you lost on a walk-off field goal to the Bears of all teams. So good job there. As for the Cowboys, you lost a tough game. Dak Prescott, he looks great, but the defense can't stop a nosebleed. I'm pretty sure if I were to suit up and play running back for the Commanders, I could run for 100 yards. And that says a lot, considering I'm a wimp, as I said earlier. So, but yeah, I think the Commanders should win this game. Hopefully Jaden Daniels doesn't throw as many picks as he did on Monday night. Because I think he had 2 or 3, if I'm not mistaken. But, man, Dallas, you got to fix your defense. I think that if they can play defense, get to the quarterback, feels like you have a guy that you may have had a guy. What was his name? Micah Parsons. I feel like he could do that, but what do I know? But yeah, I feel like if Dallas can get to the quarterback, which I think is very possible, I think they do have a chance to win this game. I think it'll be close, but I am going to go with the Commanders here in this one. Plus, it's a divisional game. You never know what weirdness is going to happen. So, moving on, we've got the Green Bay Packers taking on the Arizona Cardinals. I'm picking the Packers here in this one. The Packers, they're just a better team than the Cardinals, point blank and period. The Packers, they're a better team. They're typically more consistent. The Cardinals, they've lost 4 straight. Who knows if Kyler Murray is going to be playing in this game? I think the Packers should win this game. Wouldn't be overly surprised if the Cardinals kept it close. Wouldn't be surprised if they won. But I am going to go with the Packers. I just think that they can keep it on the ground and win this game pretty handily. Next, we've got the Atlanta Falcons versus the San Francisco 49ers. I believe this is a Sunday night game, if I'm not mistaken. Falcons, you've looked great against the Bills. The defense, I'm liking what I'm seeing out of that Atlanta defense. As for the 49ers, I think I think the blow on Sunday with Fred Warner, I think that's going to be enough to mail it in for the year. I don't think you're coming back from that one. Nick Bosa, that obviously hurts, that injury. But Fred Warner, he's an absolute game changer in the middle of the field, and not having him for the rest of the year is a complete blow. And I don't think 49ers are going to be able to recover from that. So I am going to go with the Falcons here in this one. I'm going to go with the upset. I think the defense can look good once more. Of course, who knows if the 49ers receivers are going to be back? Who knows if Brock Purdy is going to be back? Who knows if Mac Jones is even going to play? But yeah, I am going to go with the Falcons here in this one. And we'll see what happens there. Monday night, doubleheader. Why are we still doing this? Why are we still doing the Monday night doubleheader? Nobody wants this. Anyways, Buccaneers, Lions, should be a great game. Baker Mayfield is looking like the front runner for the MVP. You know, I really think Cleveland could use a guy like that, but what do I know? I'm just a fan. But Buccaneers, they look great right now. Of course, you lose Emeka Egbuka. That sucks. Who knows if you're going to have Mike Evans? Who knows? Chris Godwin, he probably won't play. So you're going to have to get things done with Tez Johnson and the tight ends, which I think is possible. Baker Mayfield proved he can do it just last week. But against this Lions team, I'm not so sure. Moving on to the Lions, they of course lost on Sunday Night Football. Thanks for screwing up my picks, Lions. Anyways, the Lions, their secondary, always been a bit shaky this year. However, one consistent thing they have going for them is their running game. If they can get things going here with David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs, the Lions are going to have a really good chance to win this football game at home. But give me the Buccaneers. I'm picking the upset here. I think it's an upset anyways. I'm not totally sure. I don't look at lines or anything, but I think it's an upset. I'm going with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers here in this one. Baker Mayfield is playing out of his mind, and it's really hard for me to bet against him right now. So give me the Bucs here in this one. Last but not least, we've got the final Monday night game, Houston Texans versus the Seattle Seahawks, with a 10 p.m. start time. Why? Who wanted this? Nobody wants this. I can understand having one game start at 7 and then having another game start at 8. That's fine. I get that. But having a game start at 10 p.m. Eastern Time? Why? whatever. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. I'm going to pick the Texans here in this one over the Seahawks. And I'm going with the Texans because I really liked what I have seen from them past 2 weeks, and then they got a bye week. So maybe that might kill their momentum a little bit. And I wouldn't be surprised if they lost this game. But I'm going with the Texans just because I feel like they're the more... I don't want to say explosive team, but I trust their defense. I'll put it that way. I trust their defense more than I trust Seattle's defense right now. Not that Seattle has a bad defense, it's just that Houston's defense has been really good. Now, I do think that Seattle is going to be able to score points. However, I think Houston is going to be able to score just a few more. This game is going to go... What's the final score of this game going to be? I'm going to say it's going to be 26... Yeah, 26-24. Houston wins. But anyways, I guess that's it for this one. Don't die.